Hello, welcome back to my sanctuary on this very auspicious Femboy Friday. Another cozy coffee conversation. Oh my goodness, this is the second one this year. So I'm glad to be bringing this series back to back to my yapping self. But I hope you're all doing well out there. I apologize for being an hour late. Usually I'm on time, but today, for whatever reason, time got away from me. Hello, Frigo Pops. Hi. Hello. Hope you're doing well. I hope you're doing good. Hello, Vixen. Hi. Hello. Good to have you here. I've got my coffee. My medium dark roast coffee. French vanilla creamer. Beverage of choice. Oh my, I'm doing okay. I'm doing aight. Although today, I will admit, I was I was late just because there was so much on my mind. And I needed some time. I need some time. I had a nice hot shower and a very late meal. I need some mac and cheese. Such a luxurious meal. Doesn't that make coffee really sweet? It do. But I love sweet things, especially coffee. I can imagine there were things in your mind. Yeah. This past week or so has been just a lightning storm of events. Oh, it's been crazy. It's been crazy in a good way. 293 subs. You're right. We're bearing down on the big 1,000, huh? Or a thing specifically. Oh yeah, I'm sure you're in on all the thing. Hello, Sophie. Hi. How are you? Are you good? Good's in your name, so I hope you're feeling good today. But not just that, but in general, like, there's been so many things happening this week that have been taking me by surprise again and again. And man, like, there's a friend that reappeared in my life after a long time of no contact, and I'm sure we'll get into talking about it, but I have this problem where I have intrusive thoughts all the time, like just imposter syndrome, and I'm always afraid to be the one to reach out or talk. I'm a vampire. I have to be invited, you know? So like there's that situation. There's like another situation where, you know, I met someone new, but I'm still getting to know them, and I feel like I might be overwhelming them. And then there's the other situation where there's absolutely no doubts, like we're getting along amazingly. And then there was another situation where I got shouted out by one of my favorite VTubers, who's like many times larger than me, who I followed for years, and it was just like, huh? What? Huh? And after years of saying nothing, because I always imagine, you know, I don't deserve their time, I joined their community server, and everyone in their community was so nice to me. And like, so yeah, so I've been coming out of my shell. Trying to say hello to people that I thought might have not liked me. or otherwise never noticed me, and so just platonically or romantically or whatever form, whatever the nature of you know, how I know someone, like, if you know me, chances are I've probably thought at some point that you wouldn't like me, which is crazy, but that's just how my brain be. That's how my brain be. I thought that way about two of my best friends, even, like Daily and Trix. I was convinced that Trix thought I was like just such a weirdo for the way that we met. Was like, so Trix was not even debuted yet, and yeah, I'm putting you on the spot, Trix. It was like all the way back in, God, was it 2024, 2023? Lyra, hello, thank you so much for the raid. Cheese for everyone. Unless you don't like cheese, then it's just as good. And hi, hello. Thank you for the cheese, I appreciate. I appreciate. There's a rare planetary alignment tomorrow. Really? Ooh, you know what's funny? I was in a conversation recently where I told someone something to the effect of, oh, you know, man, the day that I reach out will be the day the planets align, you know, because I'm just that bad about talking to people. And, well, apparently, the solar system was like, bet. Oh my goodness. But hello everyone, welcome. My name is Sokar Starfire. I am a half jackal demon vampire. Rar. Don't worry, I won't bite much. I do a lot of cozy stuff like this. I do a lot of just chattings. I play a lot of cozy games. I believe Lyra was playing Star Sand Island today, which I know Lyra has been obsessed with, but for good reason. It looks great. It looks wonderful. I want to play it someday. I knew this was a streaming raid. You're so predictable, it's cute. Oh, agreed. Star Sand, Starfire Island. If I get that game, I gotta rename the island to Starfire Island. What were we talking about before I was so wonderfully interrupted? Hi, by the way, nice to meet you. You as well, Wayne, good to meet you. Let's see. Oh, I was talking about Trix. I was talking about Emerald Trix, the Siren Prince, another VTuber bestie. When we first met, okay, I was convinced that Trix thought I must be a psychopath. Because who does that? Who reaches out to someone who is like, you know, just up and coming VTuber and just is like, let me help you. I want to support you. I want to be there. When you're streaming, I'm going to be there for your first stream. But, you know, thankfully, Trix didn't think I was weird. I don't, to my knowledge anyway. And we became fast friends and had a bunch of collabs, and it was great. But like, even someone like that, like, I definitely at some point thought, oh, they hate me. Oh, I'm crazy. Or like, or Daily. Daily's another really close friend of mine. Once upon a time, I was like, oh, we're gonna fight, we're gonna conflict, we're gonna clash. I don't know. This is a man with some very strong opinions, and I'm a little scared. I'm a little scared because I'm very opinionated too. But turns out, Daily, very diplomatic. very nice. Very nice and very understanding, and will always listen and give you the time of day too. And like we're good friends. We don't fight at all. In fact, we have been playing Icarus together. We played Roadcraft together, and but yeah, like so there's people in my life who are friends of mine that at one point or another, my brain, my imposter syndrome was like, oh, here's all the ways this person probably thinks you're awful and will find some way to fight with you. Right? Just based upon what you said or what you've done. And it's just a constant. It's just a constant. And today, I don't know, for whatever reason, I was just a little overwhelmed thinking about the web of people that I've got in my life who, for one reason or another, you know, I think this or that, and I was like, oh, I gotta delay stream. Oh, socializing is difficult for a vampire. You're gonna start streaming? Oh, that's awesome. I hope that it all goes well for you. And even if here's the thing, I don't want to be Mr. Toxic Positivity for anyone that goes into streaming or is thinking about going into streaming. Even if you don't like it, like there's a chance you may not. There's a chance you might not be comfortable with it. It's the fact that, you know, just the experience that you have of it. I'm looking forward to how it's like a mirror. Streaming for me is like a mirror, and in a way it is as a VTuber, because, you know, you gotta go to bed. Good night, Ali. Thank you for being here. But streaming will reveal things about yourself that maybe you haven't noticed before. Be they strengths, be they weaknesses, they will all come out. They will all come out, and I think it's important to go into it like understanding that as well. You don't have to have everything figured out on day one. You don't know who you are on day one. And, you know, the way that you carry yourself on stream is going to mold over time. You're Spirit Fox Messenger. You're meant to be the one that communicates with everyone. Oh, really? Is that the lore? Is that the Vixen lore? Interesting. Oh my goodness. But yeah, I think it's great to have experienced streamers welcoming in newer streamers. Always helps build positive communities. Yeah, speaking of, Lyra was a connection that I made. And I'm glad that I made. Despite similar things where I was like, oh man, I must be super intimidating. I must seem crazy. But we've gone along. It's great. I have, because that's like another thing that I have trouble with is like, God, it's been such a crazy week. I have trouble reaching out to streamers who are larger than me because, of course, my brain is like, oh, you know, they must think this and this and this because they're so much more experienced, and, you know, they've got a network of a bajillion friends, and, you know, like, what are you but just one more brick in the wall? And so then, like, this week I had what I had happen with you know, a larger VTuber I look up to, and it was just like, wow, okay, I guess I'm dumb. I guess I'm just dumb. Because I was treated very nicely. It was good. It was great. It's almost like there's people behind the VTubers. Isn't that wild? Isn't that a wild thought? You've actually been a massive part of helping me settle into the Twitch community. Oh, you made me cry. Sokar Starfire weeps openly on stream. That's really nice. That's really sweet. Um, am I in the Jin next server? I am. I made a really cringy about me and everything in the server. But yeah, it's just like today has been just like a day where I've been reflecting a lot on all these various people in my life who have come to know, and it's just crazy the way that people get pushed together, you know. Even if my brain is like coming up with the most irrational excuses for why I shouldn't say hello, it's nice to have people who can kind of just, I don't know, punch through that. Listen, honey, I require a lot of attention because of that. And it makes me feel selfish sometimes. Because, like, why should other people have to deal with that part of me, right? So I'm always like really deeply appreciative whenever someone gives me their time. I always say like, end of every stream, I'm always like, you know, I deeply appreciate your time because it's the most valuable thing you can give. And that's the truth. Because you can't make more of that. There's a finite amount of it you can give away. And especially with my particular mental health, it's like, it means even more to me because like I'm constantly convincing myself that someone spending time with me is like, ooh, you might be wasting your time. Oh, I'm a bit of an investment. You mean today you wondered if people only hang around because you're female? You know what people are like when gamer girls are involved? Oh, yeah. I don't know obviously I can't empathize with your exact situation. I can only imagine. But I can at least empathize in the point of, I guess, being fearful of what others might think of you based upon stereotypes and whatever. Thank you for the head pats, Metallic. I pinged you in my OC art for Win, and if you want to look at it, yeah, I saw a notification. I saw a notification. Oh, cool. Ooh, purple hair. That's really neat. I always admire people who have the ability to draw, because I can't. I cannot draw. I'll show you. Let me show you. Let me show you. Where is it? Where is it? I have too many things in my OBS. God, where is it at? Where are you? Here. Here. Look at that. Now, isn't that is a one-to-one self-portrait in Microsoft Paint, right? That's my art style. I write better than I can draw. Which is the real you? I know, right? Is this actually the Live2D model? Because this is pretty high quality. Imagine like a 3D model made with that. Oh my god. You've seen people get stalked just for being a female who plays games. That's scary. That's crazy, actually. That's insane. I'm so sorry. I hope nothing like that happened to you personally, but like I don't get why people are like that. I don't understand. I don't understand. Why can't they just get into the gacha games and, you know, like the rest of us, and love the fictional characters instead of harassing people? What if you made another OG made Sokar art? I could. It's been a while since I've opened Microsoft Paint. I don't know. I do love that particular piece though. That particular museum-worthy display, because it has helped me make a few thumbnails. Hold on, you got me showing things off now. For example, when I played Getting Over It, look, another beautiful piece. Wow. Wow, gorgeous. But I've always admired people who can draw and stuff, because like, I can't. I mean, I can, but you know what I mean. Putting thoughts into art is basically like magic. If you think about it, it's like your pen is the wand. And so it's just pretty crazy, pretty incredible. I'm much better at writing. I've spent my whole life just writing, fiction and nonfiction. In our server, actually, I have like a whole channel that is just like all of my world building stuff and all my maps and things, which was really fun to share with the community, that part of myself. And also, I do a lot of journaling, because just for my own mental health my whole life, ever since I got like pretty intense counseling many years ago, and ever since then I just have journals upon journals. This is one of the things they teach you. One of the things that taught me was just, you know, active listening, just taking note of days you feel bad, days you feel great, writing it down so you can remember. Because one of the things that happens, especially with depression, whenever you get hit by it, whenever that tsunami comes in, which it does on a pretty consistent cycle every couple of months, it helps to have things that, you know, show you what it was like when you were happy. And so that's like why it's so helpful. Because whenever you are going through that, everything's numb and you can't. You're like, what is it to be happy, right? And also my streaming kind of helps with that, because I can look at my VODs. You know, if I'm going through a really particularly rough time and I'm having difficulty feeling, I can go to one of my VODs and just laugh. And because like I can hear my own laughter, and there's nothing more comforting than my own laughter. That sounds so vain. But yeah, streaming for me has also been like a form of journaling because of that. Want to share some writing? I want to see your style. My style. Wow. Let me see here. You could go into the world building channel. I know you're in the server, and you could see. You could see. Hello, Onion. Hi. Hello. I love that emote. I need to get some emotes of myself. I have a little Sokar just like running up. You do put thoughts into art, Sokar. Writing is art. Maybe. Maybe. Potentially. World building and writing are two different things. I would have shown you some of mine. Wayne's addicted to it. Oh. My style, I don't know. I really enjoy describing things. Like, I really enjoy taking my time to describe how something feels. Like, even if it's just a purely visual thing. Like, for example, I could say, you know, a character wakes up and it's raining, or I could say, like the rain dances on the window pane, you know, like, I don't know, I what do you call that? Personification. I like personifying things, experiences. Because I'm a very emotional person, so I really connect with emotional writing. I like being able to feel imagery, if that makes sense. Sokar Sunder Starfire. Yeah, the fantasy world that I started writing since I was very young. It's changed its name a lot, but in recent years it's called Sunder. The idea being that it is like an alternate world that is it's been cut off. Like, it's just like a piece of it's a piece of our world in many ways, but it's a piece of the underworld. I feel like a nerd talking about it, but that world is something that I just would write so much about because, I don't know, it was my getaway. It was my escape. If you see my mouth do funny things, it's because I'm drinking my coffee. My tracking just goes away. Describing the clouds in the field of the world tree. Yeah, like, I don't want, like, if I'm describing clouds, I don't want them to just be like, there's clouds. I want it to be like, they gallop across the sky, you know. Give them some kind of movement to them. Would you ever publish it? I tried writing a short novel, but my hard drive failed and I lost it and I was sad. And then I rewrote the whole thing from scratch and it was like hundreds of pages. I had to try and remember bits and pieces. And then that one failed. I was like, damn it, I gotta back things up better. I never tried again. These days, I just pour my writing into I merged it with my VTubing essentially. Your escape is getting uppies from father. Aw, uppies. I would love to give chat uppies somehow with some kind of redeem. Who's taking your hard drive? I don't know. The universe is just like, no, now is not the time. Maybe it's a good thing, because if I had published it back then, it wouldn't have a lot of the details that it has in now. The first one was lightning, like directly struck and fried my computer. The second one was I had an external hard drive because I was like, oh, this would be smarter. And I plugged it into my laptop, but I never took it out. And I dropped it a lot. And one day I dropped it one too many times. And yeah. Even to publish the one I have Wayne reading, I've done competitions before. I need to test myself from short stories and novels. Oh, interesting. This is so funny. I did competitive writing. I was in the young authors thing. And I had a what was it? There was a competition that entered for poetry. And my mom bought like way more copies of the book where all the entries were in from all the participants. She bought way more copies than she needed, but she was just so proud of me. There was like a box of these hardcover poetry books, and just because my entry was in like one page, and she gave them all out to everyone in the family. So you can steal one then. Oh, yes, they're still circulating. But I wrote that like when I was in, what was it? Can you find it? I don't know if it would even be online. It was like in a physical book. Don't have the book? I do have the book. Somewhere. Somewhere. I have a lot of books. This was like, I was like in, I want to say 6th or 7th grade. And I've always had a higher than average reading level. And I distinctly remember that my poem was about some pretty mature themes. Everyone, it's so funny. Everyone else's entries around my poem was all like, you know, very non-political, non-mature themes, talking about like, oh, the sun is nice and I love rice and flowers are cool, roses are red and violets are blue, I'm a vampire, I'ma bite you. But then like mine was like, it was something to do with like the threat of nuclear war and like all these things that could take us out, all these different things that threaten our existence, but how we persist. And that was what got me in the book. My teacher was like, you gotta enter this competition because like this is very deep, like mature stuff. I've never seen anyone in my class write before. So I guess being an emo, helped me a lot because my mind is always drifting to the most depressing things. So, uh, one short story I had when I was, it was a short horror novella about nearly drowning. The other short novellas were all happy and rainbows. Writing horror is interesting. The thing with horror is that good horror never reveals the monster right away. If you reveal the monster too soon, it's just you lose everything. And I've encountered more than one horror story, be it in a game or in a movie, where the monster is revealed and everything is known and the rest of the story is just running away from the thing. And that's not... No. The essence of fear is the absence of information. That is what the emotion of fear is. It's when you don't have enough information about something. So you have to keep it mysterious. That's what keeps the reader, the viewer, engaged. But I've never actually taken a serious look at like writing any kind of horror myself. But I know that that's one of the things is you have to try and not reveal everything right away, which I feel like that would be difficult for me because my writing style is like I want to paint a very clear picture. So I think it would actually take a fair bit of restraint. The story you now introduced the villain in chapter 4.5, but haven't introduced him at all, just his thoughts. The slow burn. Yes. I'm gonna go to bed. Good night. Have fun. Take enough breaks. Definitely need the things in your mind. Oh yeah, of course, Orchid. Thank you so much for stopping by. I appreciate it. I appreciate. Go have good sleep. I've always struggled with writing characters. I find dialogue between characters to be very difficult to write. I will say I'm much better at describing scenery, describing events, than so-and-so talks to so-and-so, and here are the things that they say. Like, it's difficult for me to get in the head of characters. Want me to help you guys with ideas and stuff? Maybe. Perhaps. But I don't know. I haven't really gone into writing like that in a very long time. But that's why I say, like, I'm much better at world building, like writing descriptions of things, items, places. I can write about characters pretty well. I can describe their outfits and everything. But giving them dialogue, it's like, no. It's always been rough. Rough? Because you want to, like, reveal something about the character. Every time they speak, you really want the dialogue to mean something. You don't want Genshin Impact dialogue. Where it's just talking for the sake of talking. It's like... But I've done that before. One of the things I ran into was trying to meet word count length. Because at one point I was convinced that in order to be considered a novel, I needed it to be very long. And so I would give my characters a bunch of like unnecessary conversations. Like they didn't need to have, but it was like, oh, this will increase the word count. I'll just take this one scene, this passing conversation at the campfire or whatever, and just drag it out. There we go. That should meet the quota. A line you have right now is, Alicia rolled her eyes at me as she spoke. God, your brain's never in the room, is it? Look of pure annoyance in her eyes. I could do audiobook readings. Maybe that's what I should do. That's basically what I do whenever I read dialogue in video games. The voice is great. Welcome. You're welcome. Whoa, my lord. Genshin Impact is the best dialogue since Twilight. Oh no. It's interesting. I don't know, Genshin Impact has been hit or miss. There's a lot of dialogue that's like, okay, we're literally just standing here talking because you had some extra budget, right? Clearly. But then there's some conversations that are like, wow, oh, this is so good. Wow, oh, I can relate. What was her name? Was her name Skirk? Hold on. Let me look it up. I don't want to be messing it up. Is that her name? Yeah. There's a character in Genshin Impact named Skirk, and we did her quest on stream. I wish I could remember what stream, but yeah, I really liked her character. I was trying to roll for a certain femboy, and I was very upset, and then I got Skirk, and I was like, ugh. Not. But I loved the writing for her character a lot, actually. Even though I didn't get the character that I wanted, I liked her quest line. Because her character, if I recall, was someone like she had depression. She just straight up had some bad mental health. And it was like, oh no, we're trauma bonding. It got me in the feels. There was another character like that. Fremene's quest line during the Thelxie event, which I hope they bring back someday, but I have it on my channel in a VOD. That was a very serious one. And they went into like coping mechanisms, and like he would practice journaling, and he would use fiction as an escape, and it was just like, oh, I don't think they didn't call it depression though. They called it like soul sickness or something, fantasy. But it was cool to see like a little bit of representation. On occasion, they do something that is a little brave and appreciate. Rather than, the stereotypical anime hero experience, they might humanize their characters every now and again. Remember when I asked you your opinion on AI because I'm doing a debate? You won a debate? Oh, congratulations! I like to think I helped. I like to think I helped. It's harmful for creative assets, but it's very helpful in technical ones. I did. Yay! Yahoo! happy to show you some of mine if it would help you. I don't mind, it's public anyway. I love reading and looking at art and stuff, so yeah, I wouldn't mind, I don't care. I like when they have ace characters and things, or the autistic kids who aren't really autistic, but mildly autistic. Yeah, and I love characters that are clearly built to be like an avatar for someone out there, you know? He's good. Now, if only I could, you know, I bet if I really put my mind to it, I could probably write some very good characters based upon my own experiences. I bet you I could. I was mildly autistic kid, and it's nice to see that shows now have the spectrum rather than this kid's special, he's nonverbal. Yeah. There's an autistic kid in my school and he's a genius. People shouldn't hate on them. I agree. I strongly agree. I have kind of a, how do I say this? I have a personal sort of interest in that growing up. So I am half deaf. I was born completely deaf in my left ear. And on top of that, so what happened was when I was born, they basically couldn't get me out in time. And so technically I've already died. I know, crazy. But my heart stopped beating and I suffered brain damage in a very specific region that led to me not being able to hear in my left ear. And there's no doubt in my mind that it likely affected some other facilities because like my whole life I have just had the foggiest memory. I have a huge amount of difficulty paying attention, and also I had a speech impediment. I don't know if any of you have ever picked up on it, but I have dealt with a lifelong stutter. When I was a kid, it was a lot worse. As an adult, and then of course because I had a lifetime of speech therapy, it's it's like basically hidden. But I can tell and I can feel it when it happens. All this is to say that when I was a kid, being half deaf, so not really hearing people the first time very well, having attention problems, and having a speech impediment, so not being able to speak clearly, I would get called, you know, the R slur and, you know, special and blah, 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 blah. You know, they had me go into like the gifted special education program or whatever. And it was interesting being amongst all those other kids because, like, you know, they had an array of things going on for them. And it was bizarre for me that to be put in there and to be lumped into this category, and it's like I just can't hear well and I just have this disability, but like my intelligence is being questioned. I went on to become like a straight A student, the straightest thing I've ever been. Like I was an honor student. I was in spelling bees. I went into drama club. I was president of Latin club. I was in like student body politics stuff at school. So like I took speech and debate classes. Like I was very outgoing. And despite all yeah, President Sokar. Despite all of the nasty things that were spoken about my intelligence and all the rest, just because I couldn't speak very well and I couldn't pay attention and I couldn't hear, I still found places where I could succeed and prove people wrong. And that is probably the thing I'm most proud of, is I was able to control my speech and to some degree take control over my attention, but it's, I don't know, it's still a problem. But yeah, no, I remember even my mom like struggling so much because people would say things about me to her. My aunt, one of my aunts, would tell her, like, oh, your son is never gonna be anything or go anywhere, and he's just stupid, and like they hated each other, by the way. My mom and this lady just for whatever reason there had to be competition between them and their sons. But did you know what? I ended up outshining my cousin. If I dare say so myself, I outshone him in intelligence by so much. But yeah, so all this is to say, I grew up being subject to things like that were not even accurate, because I never did get like a diagnosis on anything like that. I don't know if I'm on the spectrum or anything like that. I don't think that I am, but I was around a lot of people who were, because of my disability and all that. And like they were some of the coolest people ever. And I felt so strongly, I want to say in middle school, okay, this is like a really niche thing about me. Okay. I went and got classes in puppeteering. And I had, so my puppet was a rabbit. And he talked like this. This is how he talked. So what I would do, we had all these other kids, and we would go over to, the classroom, the special education, classroom, with all different kinds of kids. And we'd put on like little puppet shows for them and stuff. And that was a wonderful experience. And it was so cool to have them like just hyperfixate on like my character, or like the voices I would do and laugh, and like afterwards come up and ask me about how it all, it's just like this really weird, very niche experience that I had with that. And yeah, that was a lot of fun. I've always just had such a heart for people who don't fit in. you know, especially because like I was one of them. So I want to do everything I can to show them that I care and make them laugh and, you know, because I know that it's tough when you have your intelligence insulted because of something like that you can't help. When you just never know until you honestly get to know the person. Just because maybe they're a little nonverbal, you know, or whatever. I could tell you story. There was this. Okay, okay. You know what? It's a just chatting stream, so it's fine if I rant, right? There was a student I remember in high school. Okay, and she was nonverbal. She never spoke a word to anyone, ever. She just very quiet. Anytime anyone called on her, she would turn beet red and she would hide behind her books and just get bullied to no end for like being so quiet. And I hated that. I hated it so much. So you know what? I started speaking up on her behalf, and I would insist on sitting next to her and everything. And she never spoke a word to me. She never said a word to me. But I knew that like my company was helping her, and people stopped picking on her, and people stopped making fun of her for being quiet. And she never spoke a word to me, but that was okay. That was okay. Like I didn't need that to have any kind of friendship with that person. It was a non-verbal friendship, but you know. And that was in high school, yeah. I don't know, I've always been the fucking like hell diver that has to swoop in and save the day whenever I see someone getting bullied. I can't help myself. I've always been like that my whole life. I can think of another really close friend that I had. Oh, is it time for ads? Oh no! Okay, I'll be right back. It's time for ads. Get up and have yourself a stretch. I'll be right back. I'll finish my story when we come back. Hi, hello. I'm back. Sorry, I got so invested in talking and storytelling that I forgot about the hourly break and the ads. I would have made some hot apple cider and some extra cinnamon. He'll notice, don't tell him. What did you do? What did you do? What have you done? What have you done? What have you done? Let's see what happened while I was away. Lyrical Livens subscribed for 1 month at tier 1. Honey, thank you. I appreciate it. Aw. I told you you would see it, yeah. Of course, nothing escapes my notice. Thank you so much for the sub. He called you honey. I call everyone honey. Don't let go to your head. Oh. Okay, my friend had anger issues, but when I was younger, I thought how they behaved was normal because they didn't get in trouble, but got in a lot of trouble and now I understand what's really going on. Oh yeah, I was an angry kid too, a little bit, but like I punched a hole in a wall once. But it was for different reasons. I was extremely repressed and that was the whole thing. But yeah, so I grew up around a lot of people who were on the spectrum, and you know what I love about them? You know what I love about them so much? It's the fact that they come at you with so much energy. And they can just thank you for the 3 gifted subs. Oh my goodness, Lyra. I'm scared. That was really nice of you. Anyways, what was I saying? Yeah, so I was around a lot of people who had autism, and even though I'm pretty sure I'm not on the spectrum, but being around them was really nice because they would always keep me, like, I don't know, occupied, I guess. Just the energy and like the hyperfixations of like just going down rabbit holes, you know? Because with me, I have intrusive thoughts, I tend to just space out, and I can't focus, and the moment that I stop focusing is the moment that all kinds of negative things creep in, right? And so with people on the spectrum, you know, like they keep me going because they're just like, oh, there's this thing I'm really passionate about. I'm going to talk about how it works and you know, all the ins and outs of it and all the details, and I'm going to focus on every little thing and every little detail, and I'm like, this isn't annoying at all. This is amazing. Let's explore that for the next 5 hours, please. Please, because you are saving me from myself in you know, and it's so much fun too. I love exploring what people are like passionate about. You're gonna go? Good night. Remember, you always come back. Okay, good night. Night night. You always come back. 5 hours, that's time commitment. Look, listen, for the right person, for the right people, I will give all my time, because that's the thing. It all comes back. It's so weird how my greatest weaknesses can become like a launch pad, like a bridge for someone else. Because I'm so aloof and low energy. It's like I am just magnetized to people who are opposite and who can fill that space with stuff. If that makes sense. So yeah, if you end up on a very excited tangent about something, honey, we're gonna explore that for as long as it takes. Okay. Because otherwise there's nothing louder to me than silence. And I hate I hate it. Please tell me the etymology of a word that you noticed on a logo for a brand of a car or something, okay? Tell me all about it. I'll Google it. I'll Google it with you and be like, oh wow. Wow, that's just like this other word. What language is that? How do you think that evolved? Sure, let's talk about it. It's really interesting to me. I love learning things, so Googling with Sokar. Yeah, I do it all the time on stream, actually. If someone in chat is like, just random knowledge, I'm like, hold on guys. Oh, So I guess, I don't know, I see it as an opportunity to keep myself busy. I see it as an opportunity to also make a connection. And so, like, I know that's a thing with autism. And, like, for me, it's complimentary. It's complimentary because I can't focus. So that, like, helps simulate focus. It's weird. It's like vicarious. That's a word. That's a big word. I like being around people who are structured because I'm not. Does that make sense? Hello, Vortrox. Welcome. You're gonna ask why VTubers exist to ChatGPT? Why? The question of why. You think an AI could ever answer why? It can answer how. I don't think it can answer why. Because... No, I'm gonna go on a rant. We can't do it. You're the car brand Supra? Supra. Supra. I don't know, let's Google it. You see? Look, this is who I am. Ah, okay. What about it? A sports car. And Grand Tour. Manufactured and developed by the Toyota Motor Corporation. Okay. You Googled why it was called. Why is it called? Doesn't that mean super? Does Supra mean super? Supra. Let's see. Supra. Oh, of course, it's Latin. For above, over, or before. Ah, interesting. You were curious, that was all? No other reason why. Just thought of why Supra. So it was Googled. Oh, okay. I thought there was more to it. I was like, yeah, let's do it. I always say that my chat contributes to my stream because you guys help me deal with intrusive thoughts all the time. If you come in with questions and fun facts, it keeps me busy. Maybe it's named that because it's like they want it to be like the very best. Maybe, indeed, indubitably. I get the joys of matching people's energy. If someone's excited, I'm excited. If you're chill, I'm chill. It's a fun vibe. For me, it's an opposites attract thing, I guess. You feel like you make my intrusive thoughts worse? No, no, you're entertaining. You're entertaining. That's the other thing. People who don't have any social cues whatsoever, thank you for being the way that you are. You know why? Because I have imposter syndrome. That's why. Okay, because I'm constantly thinking. I was talking about this earlier in stream, before Lyra's raid. I was talking about how I will, any given person, I will just think about and be like, oh, they must be thinking this, 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 and this, and this, and they're probably acting this way because of this, and they're probably, oh, that's, I have to follow the cues and the script, and I know that they're doing the same thing. And so when someone comes out of the blue without any social cues whatsoever, and it's just like, bam, it's like, oh, thank you so much. I don't have to guess. You know what I mean? Because of my very specific condition. It's wonderful that I don't have to be paranoid. Because your average person is someone who's like, you watched the game last night? Oh, that weather wouldn't be so bad if it weren't for the wind. Working hard or hardly working? Well, how about that local sports team? Yep. And it's like, or my favorite is, how are you? If I say anything other than good, there's an immediate discomfort, right? Because I understand that when people say, how are you? It's a platitude most of the time. But if someone comes at me with absolutely zero social cues and, says something like that, I know it's not. I know that it's gonna be more than just a 1 second interaction, and it's great. So yeah, that just blasts through that whole entire thing I got going on. So that's why I love people who are that way. Are fish wet? Is that your debate? Well, they're in the water, right? I would say yeah. Probably. Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Exactly, but fish specifically because they're wet in water, they're only wet if they leave the water. What? Hold on. Wait. Sokar is processing your ticket. Your argument is that a thing is only wet if it's not in, if it leaves the water. They're temporary. What? No. A thing is wet as long as it has water as long as it has water molecules upon it. Okay? That is the definition. And in fact, we could Google the definition. Let's see. I can't believe the definition of wet. Wet refers to being covered, soaked, or saturated with water or another liquid, or characterized by rain or moisture. It implies a higher liquid concentration than damp or humid, covering scenarios like wet paint, rainy weather, or informally, What is an experience or the legal sale of alcohol? Common synonyms include soaked, drenched, damp, moist, and soggy. So it has to be a high concentration in order to be wet. Therefore, yeah, now you know. Now you know. Does that clarify? Also, water's not wet because a property cannot be itself. True. That's true. Hello, Carla. Hi. Welcome. Thank you for the bongos. How are you? You're alive. That's good. Although the zombie emoji concerned me. So fish are not wet until they leave the water? No, because they're covered in water. They're in the water. You know? This is so funny. Okay, listen, this is the kind of conversation, this is the stuff I'm talking about that keeps my brain happy. It keeps the dopamine going. Even if it's absolutely crazy. Oh my goodness. Punches are being thrown in the chat. This was a whole stream? An entire stream? That's amazing. Also, gravity doesn't exist because the fourth dimension absorbs it through black holes. Wow, what a topic. What do you mean gravity? Gravity is a property of space-time, the interaction between the fabric of space-time and the relationship to mass. So I disagree. This is stream 3 for you? I see. That's just your thing, huh? That's just your thing, huh? Okay, well, according to your logic, then, I don't know, cereal must be a soup. You'd be the type of person to say that, I don't know. Oxygen being poison? Okay, so here's the thing. No. Okay, so here's the thing. You're referring to oxidation, aren't you? You're referring to the process of oxidation. But here's the thing. Oxygen on its own isn't necessarily lethal because you need it for metabolic processes. But it's diluted because it comes along with nitrogen. Most of what we breathe is nitrogen and a very small amount of oxygen. Now, in a significant dose, oxygen could be lethal. But that's like salt. You know, the body requires salt in order to function. But at past a certain threshold, it becomes toxic. You see what I mean? See what I'm talking about here? You see, you're picking up what I'm putting down. You understand? Are you metabolizing what I am what I am offering here. Thank you for proving you're right. No! 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 Oxygen's not a poison. Nuh-uh. Mm-mm. 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 It's toxic. Too much is bad. Well, you could say that about anything. There's a lot of things in this universe where too much of would become bad. And moderation is key. It is only toxic at high concentrations or elevated pressures. In which case then you would develop oxygen toxicity. But it is essential for life. If you have just oxygen, you can't breathe, right? So it's a poison. Oh, well, Listen. It's about the amount, okay? It's the amount. It's the amount of it. You know, because by that logic, I could argue that water is a poison. I could make an argument that water is a poison, because obviously you can't breathe that. And if you drink too much water, did you know you can develop water toxicity? Because your cells can only hold so much water in reservation. Cause them to explode at the cellular level. So, yeah, how about that one? The poison is in the dose, my dear. You can drown in 2 inches of water, so water's a poison. Oxygen's poison. You would be right. Too much. See, Carla's speaking sense. Carla's speaking sense over here. Too much of anything's dangerous. There's a quote by hold on, wait. Wow. Why did I think this was a Leonardo da Vinci quote? It's not. It is not a Leonardo da Vinci thing. Why did I think that it was? The dose makes the poison. All things are poison, and nothing is without poison. Only the dose determines that a thing is not a poison. I literally had a very good friend who taught me okay, there's things in nature that are like plants and stuff that are considered very deadly, but in very, very specific applications could be used to help and heal and treat different things. I think the one that comes most to mind is like snake venom. Obviously, the snake venom, you're gonna have a bad time, but it can be used to make anti-venom. It's all subjective. Giving birth poison. Too much anything's dangerous. It's called greedy and glutton. No, Twitch chat just wants Sokar to smack them because they're greedy. Too much of a good thing. Oh man. I think Vixen is enjoying the chaos that has been sown here today. Thank you for the head pats, I appreciate. I love this chat. I love this community. I love the people that I've that I've gotten the chance to meet. Delulu. Thank you for creating a temporary rift in the chat. You have 126 IQ. I've never taken the test. I don't know. I don't have a clue. Oh, you guys are so silly. Chaos is 300. I don't think that's how that's divided. I don't think that's how that's divided. God, when's the last time I took like a personality test or anything like that? I don't even remember. Oh, I know that in Sky there was a personality test, and I'm apparently a champion. That's my personality type. There was like more to it. I could have sworn I took a screenshot of it, but I'm a champion, apparently. Let's see if I actually took a screenshot of what that meant. There's so much stuff in our Sky channel, isn't there? There's so much stuff. Aww. You think you were summoned because there were chaos vibes that matched yours? Perhaps, Carla, perhaps. Clouds are evaporated water that became a gas. Then at a certain point, they get wet. And we become water. This fascination with the water cycle today is hilarious. Listen, okay, here's the thing. Hey guys, here's the thing about language. It is designed for communication. Language is not meant to be precise. It is meant to be a medium of communication and understanding how the world is. Okay, so, because I mean, you could break everything down. You could, if you had a microscope, or I don't know, something more powerful than that, you could break everything down to its basest parts and nothing would make sense. And you would go crazy. The language exists to make you not go crazy. Did you know that, like, because of the nature of how the universe works at like an atomic level, two atoms can never touch? So, like, holding someone's hand, the atoms in your hands would never touch because of the uh the repelling force of the God, I forgot. But yeah. But we still have words for hands and holding hands, and we have concepts for, you know, something really cool to think about? The whole universe is just one big room. If you think about it. At some point, like what even is a room? Or like the concept of a day. The sun is always shining. The planet is just turned around. But all of time is just one very long day if you think about it. But we have a concept of time to break it up and understand it better. So, yeah. Time isn't real. That's the thing. I agree time's a concept, but I think time has to be real because it is based upon the speed at which light travels, which is an observable, like, it's an observable property, I guess. But as a concept, like, if we're talking about timekeeping, time is measuring the motion of physics. Yeah, in that sense. But in the concept of like dividing everything into, you know, more cultural things or more subjective, like calendars and stuff. Speed is a concept because we made it up. It's all timey-wimey, wibbly-wobbly anyway, isn't it? Humans are the only creatures that are cursed to think about these things. We are just forever doomed to think about stuff that no other creature can. Boom, 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 boom. There's a quote. Hold on, wait. I have it in my phone somewhere. Let's see. Let me see. It's profound. It's about Zelda. It's from Zelda. And I like it a lot because I love Zelda. But it's related to this conversation. If I could find it, I would share. Here we go. Try to imagine life without timekeeping. You probably can't. You know, the month, the year, the day of the week, yet all around you. Timekeeping is ignored. Birds are not late. A dog does not check his watch. Deer do not fret over passing birthdays. Man alone measures time. Man alone chimes the hour. And because of this, man alone suffers a paralyzing fear that no other creature endures. A fear of time running out. This was not a direct quote from Zelda. I think this was like a fan art thing. There's like some Majora's Mask fan art here. Anyways. Really makes you think, huh? Really makes you go, oh! Oh, wow! Oh my goodness. doesn't think about the end like we do. I'm sure that there might be a concept of ending and death in their minds, but very specifically the idea of like time running out, anxiety over time pressure. That's like a very human anxiety, you know? We're stressed. We're stressed, right? Because like there's plenty of animals, I'm sure, in nature that just the nature of nature is stress. the fight or flight response. But to stress over things that haven't happened yet, that's such a unique human thing. To think about like, oh, I got this appointment on this day, a week from now, I'm really thinking about that. This thing that happened on this day at this precise time. Yes. It's interesting. I've always considered intelligence in humans. This might be a controversial thing to say. I've always believed that human intelligence is a mutation. Like, just the nature of this three-dimensional space that we're in, it's not meant to be understood, right? It never asked to be understood, and yet here we be trying to. And it can get us in trouble sometimes because we can see patterns that might not be there, right? Because we get obsessed with trying to understand something that is so impossibly vast in our little human brain jars that is our skulls. You gotta go to bed? Okay, good night, Vixen. Appreciate having you here. Appreciate you contributing to the chat and giving us things to debate and discuss. Night. Cloud not wet. But yeah, so I've long believed that, and it's helped me a lot. This kind of ties into all the way back into mental health. Once you understand that you being a creature of logic and reason, but trapped in this body and in this universe that is not rational or logical, and you realize that intelligence is just the ability to recognize patterns. I don't know, for me, that's like, it's less burdensome. It helps me kind of just deal with the heaviness of life a lot better. Because it's like, okay, these anxieties and stresses and things that are weighing me down, it's all a product of this ability to recognize patterns. And in the modern day and age, it kind of clashes with our level of technology and, you know, everything that we do as humans, right? We are not meant to be so like all-seeing as we are in the modern day. Like, how is the human brain supposed to evolve quickly enough to something like social media, where you are actively seeing very stressful, traumatic things all around the world, every day, every minute? Like, how are you supposed to have the biology to, like, deal with that? You're constantly in fight or flight all the time. Just something to think about, right? How the ability to think and to plan and to ruminate isn't necessarily, it's not good or bad, it is. And we have to find a way to rein it in and practice, active discipline on how to use that, because it is a tool. At the end of the day, it's a tool. Sokar went into full rambling about all the things mode. I did. Some very specific people came into my chat and then just started feeding the chaos. These psychological effects of people growing up with the internet is still a study that's still in infancy. Yeah, isn't that? It's just interesting to me that we're only 2 generations into a species that from birth to death, we have 2 generations of a species that have had this level of awareness that no other generations of this species has ever had. And just all the psychological effects of it. Or even using AI as well. I'm sure there's all kinds of psychological studies on the way people will interact with their chatbots and stuff. I've seen some crazy stories of people who will have AI companions and stuff like that, and the effects on your human flesh and blood brain thing in your head, and people can get delusional or develop psychosis because it's just a level of technology and speed in which there's communication, and it's difficult to bind with. Anyways, at the end of the day, we are all just animals who still need to eat and drink and breathe and poop and sleep and but we have this ability to worry ourselves to the point of paralysis, and that's quirky, I guess. But it's a good life. It is. You just have to know how to find the balance, because if you go into open debates with people about whether clouds are wet or fluffy, or whether fish are wet, you're gonna lose your mind. You will stare into the void. That's what I like about Lovecraftian horror, even though the guy Lovecraft is not so great. But the idea of these eldritch gods or whatever representing, they're meant to represent that fear of the unknown and humanity's obsession with chasing the unknown and trying to map it out. Madness and intelligence are intrinsically intertwined. Oh, just look at me. You're losing your mind trying to figure out this conversation I returned to. Welcome back, Sophie. It's been a bit of a spiral, yeah. But that's how these always go. Orpman Lord likes Tears of the Kingdom. Tears of the Kingdom is alright. It's just over-engineered. It's over-engineered. They added too many things to it. They should have Listen, the pinnacle of engineering is not when there's nothing left to add, but when there's nothing left to take away. Alright? That is like a principle or whatever that someone said. You know? Probably George Washington or something. A Sokar intelligence to guide was triggered. Sokar philosophical discussion mode activated. Yeah. And you know what? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. That's the craziest thing. You have to unlearn this compulsion to find a reason. You know? That is why I'm not... I've chilled out a lot about that kind of stuff. I talked a lot about it, but the Unus Annus series that I watched in the 2020s, like, helped me a lot with sort of, I guess, wrapping my head around the concept of like running out of time. Focusing on the clock can, like, it can drive you crazy. And that's not what life is about. It's about, what's the saying? The life in your years, not the years in your life, or something like that. Memento mori. Memento mori. But that series was like at a time of my life when I needed it. The microwave? You broke your microwave? No! No! If my microwave broke, I would die of starvation. You're so sleep deprived you almost put your fork in the microwave as well. Hey, speaking of intelligence, let's talk about the time that I put in a chicken sandwich that was wrapped in foil into my parents' microwave and caused it to spark and leave a scorch mark. That was real intelligent. Yes, it is. Sokar. Agree, during my darkest times, the Mail Time song from Blue's Clues made the rain in my head go away. Mail time, mail time, mail time. Here's the mail, it never fails. Makes me wanna wag my tail. Mail. You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. You're back and doing your best Garfield impression. Oh, I didn't know. Well, I guess based on the voice you stream, I should expect such degree of talent. Also known as eating lasagna. That sounds really good, actually. But, yeah, the takeaway from today's message is you are biological You are biology, okay? Even your mind, even your mental health, it's part of your body. So don't forget it. Don't forget. For real what? Oh, Sokar went into, full rant. Yeah, sorry. What do you want to do? You want to apologize? I'm kidding. These are things I think about, okay? These are things I think about, and then you guys poke and prod at them, and then all of a sudden, there it is. There I go. Ranting and rambling away. Yup. That's the way it be. Sometimes it be that way. You don't think it would be that way, but it do. But yeah, language is designed for communication because it's not, and it changes. So, yeah. Did we learn something? I hope. Maybe. I don't know what it was, but maybe. Maybe we learned something about instinct and nature and existing. It's okay to just exist, you know? You don't have to give yourself some grand, ambitious goal. Sometimes it's nice just to be like, you know, this being alive thing, that's what all life on Earth is doing. Why do I have to have such crazy expectations for myself? There's an instrumental song called Among Familiar Faces I like to listen to while reading. It's very relaxing. Music is another thing that, hey, music is a universal language. No matter what you speak, how you speak it. Music is healing. That's something you can speak to anyone. Probably, maybe. What's another universal language? Love is a universal language. That one's pretty easy to speak. And understand and whatnot. Although, I guess we humans tend to complicate it, don't we? Are we coming up on our next break? We might be. It's possible that in exactly 1 minute and 41 seconds, you're gonna get hit with advertisements. So, if you've been sitting for the past hour or so listening to me ramble on about the fundamental properties of the universe and humanity's place amongst the cosmos, and what it is to be alive, this biological machine that cannot comprehend the infinite vastness of space and the incredible minutiae detail of the cellular, molecular level. Well, honey, here's a comfort to you. The universe is so big that nothing in it matters. That means it's a blank canvas for you to insert yourself. So express yourself, okay? Bring meaning to that which has none. And there you will find it. or something profound like that. Get up and stretch too, because if you don't, you'll get deep vein thrombosis. Because you have a circulatory system that needs exercise, okay? You also need hydration and food. Okay? Don't forget about those. You are aminal. You're aminal. Rar XD. So take care of yourself. I'll be back in a few minutes. Get up and have a stretch, and I will return. I'm going to run some ads on the Twitch side of the channel to support the channel, and I will see you all very soon. Mwah! Hi, honey, hello. I'm back. I'm back. Thank you for the bongos. So, where were we? We were talking about the stuff and things and the nature of life and all the stuff upon in. Hello, Johnny Cat. Hello. My face is pasted. Oh, did you put a thing in the server? Did you? I love the Sokar face compilation. Didn't I make a collage of my faces? I'm pretty sure that I did. I don't know. Maybe. Actually, yeah, in our art channel. Hold on, where's it at? Where did I do that? The Sokar sketch, yeah. I remember. Here. Look at all these faces. Look at all those faces. Ooh. There's like all the times that Metallic has screenshotted my face. Are you okay, Sophie? You keep falling on your keyboard. I notice. And it's funny because it's not coming through the, why isn't it coming through the chat? I think chat is just like, there's no way that could be real. Actually, let me make sure this is on a spider fell on your keyboard? Ah, that's why. You were smashing your keyboard. Not gonna lie, that would be a distressing event, to say the least. It isn't on live chat. Oh, hold on. There. Now it is. Now it's live. Live from the sanctuary. It's Sokar Starfire. Oh. Yeah. Anyways. Trying to think if I have a story. Do I have a story that is relevant to this? I'm not sure. Trying to get it off of the tissue, I panicked and realized I pressed enter. Ah. It's okay. It's okay. You were fighting the good fight. And you emerged, I assume, victorious. Where I grew up, there were many spiders. To this day, anytime I have to get my shoes, I will like beat them against the floor and you know, and shake them out to make sure. Just as a compulsive habit, because in that area they'd get in there. The spider guts on your laptop now. Ew. 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 Well, life is cruel. The cycle of nature. I I don't know if I necessarily have arachnophobia, but it's like a phobia. To have a phobia, it has to be something that like paralyzes you, right? They make me uneasy, but they don't like disrupt my life. That'd be like an actual phobia. What's a phobia that I have? What's something I'm just like irrationally terrified of? Oh, I can think of one. I don't know what the word is, but I can describe it. Very specifically, it is seeing or having to walk past a mirror in the dark. I really don't enjoy it. I don't. Or there's like a mirror that is facing me in the dark. I hate it. I don't like being able to see behind me. And it's like completely irrational. But that's one I have. Whatever that is. I don't like having vantage points I shouldn't have. It's like, it's too much information. I'd rather be ignorant. But you know, when I was a kid, I remember getting bullied a little bit with the whole like Bloody Mary thing, where, you know, your friends or whatever would go into a bathroom, turn the lights off, and make you say Bloody Mary 3 times and spin around, and then you know, this ghost is supposed to come through the mirror and get you. And they would do that to me all the time. Maybe that's where it comes from. Cacophobia, the fear of failure. Ooh. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Definitely. That is one that absolutely paralyzes me. I cannot stand the thought of potentially, like, failing. More specifically though, it's the fear of losing control. I always say, I don't know what that is, but I spiral if I'm ever in a situation where, like, I just cannot get a hold of the situation, you know? I panic. That's like one of my shortcomings, like in very specific video games. I just will, if things slip out of my grasp too much, I just can't think rationally. I just panic. Trypanophobia? I don't know what that is. It's time to Google and learn words today, apparently. Let's see. I know some people have thalassophobia, which is a fear of the ocean. I don't have that one. I've never been to the ocean. Oh, needles. Ah. You know, that one is interesting. I'm gonna sneeze. No, I'm not. No, I refuse. No, I'm asserting dominance over my sneeze. No! Ugh. Okay, I'm fine. We're always learning on the Sokar Starfire channel. Bless you, maybe. Bless you, maybe? For me, that one is... I have that. I might have that. I had an incident when I was a kid where I had to get my blood drawn. Because I was having horrific, just always sick. And turns out it was just really bad allergies. I'm allergic to cat hair, to dust, like ragweed pollen, and yeah. But when I had my blood drawn, this lady was like, okay, we have someone who's still learning, and this would be a good opportunity for them, so we're gonna bring them in. And it was this old woman with the shakiest hand ever, and she did it, and it was awful, and I hated it, and it was really bad, and left a bruise in my arm, and I was very sad. I was very upset. And my mom was like, how dare you? She was like, she got so mad at them because like she had her blood drawn there, not even because she needed it, but just to calm me down, to show me it was okay. And they had like this very experienced nurse do it, but then, you know, I didn't get the same treatment. I got this old grandma who was in training. So, yeah, that's probably why I'm averse to them. Very specifically just because of that, because it was not a fun experience. I don't know if it necessarily translates to a phobia so much as just a distrust. I got trust issues with whatever those people are called. The blood drawers. The vampires of the medical world. You better not hurt me. You better not. I've been hurt once before. When I was younger, I got blood drawn, but they couldn't find the vein in one arm, so they had to do both. Still couldn't find it. Oh my goodness. That was not the problem with me. That wasn't the problem with me. Mine are fairly prominent. This lady just didn't have a steady hand. So yeah, that's my story. And that's my story. I don't have, it's like just very specific things, right? I don't have a fear of heights. I have a fear of falling. So as long as there is some kind of reassurance that I'll be alright, I'm fine. A railing, you know, some kind of barrier, sufficient distance. If I had to, I'm sure I could rappel. But like free, what do they call that? When you like rock climb without anything? Is it just like free climbing maybe? No. Nope. Not for me. Tomorrow's your birthday? Oh, really? That's exciting. Birthday. Cool. Another year older, another year wiser. You're afraid of falling because you already fell from heaven. Me? You think I fell from heaven? I rose up from hell. Actually. But thank you. Didn't know my friend had trypophobia? Oh, tryptophobia. Fear of holes. So we went mini golfing and just seeing the golf ball made them freeze in place. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Like when something is a legitimate phobia, it's something that makes you freeze up. If it just makes you a little uneasy and like ick, that's not really a phobia, that's just an aversion. Hey, dial it back, Videosity. I see what you're getting at. Oh, but, you know, that's just, I feel like most, now I'm not a psychologist. I'm not an expert on these things, but I believe most phobias emerge from past experiences. Like trauma can lead to a response like that. Just like there's some kind of tie to something, even if it's indirect, it just sticks for you. Maybe. But that's just a theory. A Sokar theory. Like, for example, I don't like the sound of, very specifically, storm sirens. Now, any other kind of siren doesn't really bother me. Police siren, fire siren, ambulance, whatever. But storm sirens, I freeze. My heart rate just like gets really high, and I'm just like, oh, I feel like I just have a profound sense of like mortality, you know? Because I'm a tornado survivor, and like I'm 99% sure that is why I really, really hate that sound, because it subconsciously takes me back to listening to that wailing through the night with water up to my ankles in the cellar and hearing everything get destroyed. Not to be too, you know, trauma dumping, but I don't like that sound. And it's also why I'm pretty sure I also don't, like, I freeze up when I hear the emergency broadcast sound. For those of you who are not in the US, there is, there's the emergency broadcast signal, which is used for, just, well, emergencies on the radio. And when I hear that, I can't speak, I can't think, I'm just, because, God, that is something that I remember hearing, just blaring through that night, you know? So, whatever those are, like, those are legit phobias for me. It's sad. I mean, I'm glad to be here. I'm glad to be alive. I'm glad that I survived. So it is what it is. You live through things and then you get just echoes of it that stay with you, you know? So I really hate it. If like a horror game uses that, which they shouldn't be, because I think that's considered illegal to use the emergency broadcast system sound. But there's a few like really edgy indie horror games out there that do that, and I'm like, gotta mute the game. Gotta mute it. That's cruel. Why would you do that? Siren Head, I think, uses it. Yeah, and then Siren Head uses storm sirens, so I hate that shit. I avoid it like the plague. Nope. No thanks. I don't care if that makes me a coward. I don't want to put myself through that. I don't want to relive that night. Thank you very much. Boom, 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 boom. So yeah, a few insights about me. And to this day, I can't really fully get away from that because they do test the storm sirens in my part of the US, which I guess is a good thing, right? But it's like once a month during, you know, tornado season or whatever. They go off and it's, I hate it. I'll just be in bed. I'll just be like fucking just crippled in bed until they're over. I hate it so much. What's your random question? Ask. I will have answer. Fortunately, where I live now, I should specify, does not really get hit by them. They just do it out of necessity because it's just part of the American protocol. I guess this is what they do. The wee woo. Wee woo wee woo. But where I am has been so safe, I haven't had to deal with one. But they still test them, and I hate it. My favorite fish or sea creature? My favorite fish? Oh, it's a tough one. Maybe sharks. Maybe shark. I feel like that's such a basic answer, but look at me, my lord! I'm looking. Hi. There's a way to calm me down. In the midst of, you know, on siren testing day, just the cat boy tail wagging emotes. But sharks are pretty cool. I think sharks are misunderstood because of the movies, how they're portrayed in the movies and in video games and stuff. They are not bloodthirsty demons that are just out for human flesh. But, you know, they commonly get portrayed as such because it makes for a good action movie or whatever. Oh, wait, you had a paleontology class years back, and now my favorite fish is Dunkleosteus. Why am I not familiar with this? Uh-oh, you've touched upon one of my hyperfixations. Here we go. We're gonna learn about ancient life. Oh, okay. Ooh, we got a big mouth. You big mouth. Wow. Ooh. That's so interesting. The front teeth. Rah 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 rah. Rah 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 rah. Dinosaurs are cool. I know this isn't a dinosaur. Technically, dinosaurs are reptiles, so this is not... People would tell you, if anyone tells you that this is a dinosaur, they're wrong. You tell them, no, actually, dinosaurs are very specifically, reptiles from the fucking Jurassic period. So, get it right. And they'll be like, yeah. Hold on, let me give you the scientific definition. Dinosaurs are a diverse group of terrestrial reptiles, see, I told you, from the clade Dinosauria, characterized by upright hind limbs positioned directly beneath their bodies, which thrived during the Mesozoic era. I just said Jurassic period just because, you know, you guys know. Jurassic Park, obviously. Oh, you know, that's what comes to mind. That's what comes to mind. Even though, like, why is it most popularly associated with dinosaurs though? Because, like, I feel like most of the, like, generally recognizable ones are from the Cretaceous. Why is it? Because, like, I want to say it's because of Jurassic Park, but, like, surely the people behind Jurassic Park must have gotten the idea from somewhere. Why? Hold on, I'm Googling. Shh, I'm Googling. Quiet. I'm quiet in the library. The most plausible answer. Let's see. Ooh, ah. Oh God, here we go. Oh no. I don't know. No idea. Is it just, maybe it's just a movie thing? I guess Cretaceous Park wouldn't be as memorable, huh? I don't know. That's something I'd have to really read about. Anyways, Vamps, they buffed up a mosquito monster that can explode, and it's wrecking everyone. What game are you talking? This is so out of. What do you mean? What do you mean? Why? What game? Tell me. Talk to me. You need to be more Pacific, because I am too Atlantic. Monster Hunter Wild. Oh! I haven't played that game in a long time. I haven't played that in a long time, but that's interesting. Giant mosquitoes, huh? The original vampire, the mosquito. Yeah, I'm overthinking it. Sorry, I'm reading more about this question than I had. Apparently, so the first large mounted dinosaur skeletons in a number of the US's greatest museums were Jurassic period sauropods. The first dinosaurs in popular books and movies were mostly Jurassic 2. The Jurassic sauropods of the American West were culturally relevant enough that Andrew Carnegie used Diplodocus cast to conduct dinosaur diplomacy in negotiations with other countries in exchange for a cast for their museums. Okay. So I think it's just a product of just the early sort of paleontology field of science. Just that's what they had, and that just hit with pop culture. Anyways. Anyway. The bite force is 80,000 pounds per square inch of the Duncolostes. I'm probably mispronouncing that. That's a lot of pounds. That's crazy. That's a big bite. That's a big chomp. You know what's fascinating? That so much of like early life on Earth had stuff like that going for them, where they had like physical advantages like that, but they died out. Not because they weren't strong enough, but because they couldn't adapt. Adaptation is the most advantageous trait to have. But it's interesting. It's fascinating to like just to take notice of stuff like what once was. Oh, well, thank you for contributing to yet another topic of discussion, Sophie. Oh, I need a good dinosaur game. You know, I feel like there isn't a good dinosaur game out there. Although I've played some games on the channel that were like, God, what was that one? We played a couple. Planetary Life, where you like had to make your own biosphere, basically, of plants and animals. That was a lot of fun. I feel like I played Spore back in the day. Does that really count? It's not really historical. A lot of goofy things in that creature editor. We should play Planet Zoo someday. I got that game. They're not dinosaurs, but you know, they're animals. Oh, excuse me. We might only go for a 3-hour stream today. But I mean, usually that's what we do with these. If that is alright. If it is alright with the general public. Indeed, indubitably. But it's been good to talk. It's been nice to just deep dive into things and also get some stuff off my chest and talk about stuff and things with you all. It's fine, yeah. And I'm sure we'll have lots of time together tomorrow because we're replaying Sky. Those tend to go in pretty long. What did we talk about today? We talked about dinosaurs. We talked about fish that can bite 80,000 pounds per square inch. We talked about clouds and water and that whole debate. We talked about phobias. Talked about mental health a little bit. Talked about... Oh, I guess we covered talking about imposter syndrome and what it's like living with depression and appreciating things that maybe people don't realize are wonderful traits to have. That, you know, you think that maybe someone out there, you think that maybe what you've got going on might be a hindrance, but you never know. There might be someone out there that compliments you in that way, that meshes with you. And so that's one thing that I've learned throughout just being alive, going through life is, there's always gonna be like people who just work very well with other people. But if you're isolated, then of course you're gonna think that, oh, these things about myself are bad. But to someone else, it might be like really helpful things, really wonderful traits to have, because for them, it's like something maybe that they lack or can't do as well. And so you can compliment them in that way. that was the most important thing I wanted to talk about today before we got sidetracked by 5 other topics. Talking about how, especially from my perspective, I tend to get lost in my own head when it comes to, developing preconceived notions about people. I do it really badly. So it's nice to have those types of people who are 100,000% honest with you, And then maybe for them they think it's a weakness, but it's like, no, it's wonderful. Hope you have candles. There's a lot of new spirits. Oh yeah, I saw that Sky did get like a patch. I'm looking forward to seeing what that's all about tomorrow. I'm still working on the light mending season or whatever, because there's like an outfit that I really want, but I don't know if I'm gonna have enough time to get to it. I don't know when the event ends for the season of light mending. I think it's April, so I still got a lot of time. You get 34 days left. How many candles can you get in a day for the season? Isn't it like 6 plus the whatever you get from dailies? I could do the math and then I could determine. 7? Okay. 7 times 34. If I was extra vigilant and I did that, which it probably won't be. But even if I skip half those days, what would that be? It's 34 divided by 2, that's 17. 17 times 7. I could get 119 candles. There's a double candle event happening? That I could get even more. Okay, so I might actually be able to get what I want. That's good to know. I still gotta get on Genshin Impact. Because isn't Lohin here now? Isn't maybe... Hello, Onion. Hi. Welcome back. Welcome back, Onion. How are you? Excuse me. Your neurons are kapoofing? Why? Why are your neurons kapoofing? Huh? I don't understand. I don't understand. You drank too much olive oil? Why? You know the next season name? The Season of Sokar. The Season of Sokar Starfire. Right? The Season of the Jackal. I thought it would taste good. No, that is like an ingredient. Don't eat the ingredients. The Season of Carnival. So yeah. My brain is empty. Thoughts empty, head empty, no thoughts. Oh, I really appreciate having you guys here today. I appreciated all the things we talked about. You were not in any other VTubers just chatting stream. I believe you. I believe you. Sure. Definitely. Definitely not in other demon lords, right? Right? You'd never lie to me, right? Right? Of course. Never lie. You never lie to me, right? You're looking more highlighty. I'm just a little suspicious, that's all. I'm just a little suspicious, that's all. I'm just wondering why would you phrase it that way? You're actually the only VTuber I watch interact with? Oh? Well, thank you. That's nice. The only VTuber I watch. Thank you. I appreciate that. It's proving my Imberling alliance. Don't you mean allegiance, honey? Don't you mean unwavering devotion? You misspelled allegiance, honey. Okay, I'll take off the. Can I please be back to normal? I want to be normal again. Please stop. Okay. I've ceased. Actually. There we go. That was scary. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to scare you, honey. Do it again. Wow, we got some different vibes here. Different feelings about that. I didn't mean to show my scary side. I didn't want to, but, have to make sure. Sometimes the demon comes out just to make sure. I'm very close. Let me back up. Back up! There we go. It's fruit, you're Imberling bully. You're bully? Are you bullying? Stop bullying. you for the headbats, Lyra. Thank you. Yay! You know what headbats make me want to do? These headbats make me feel so wonderful that I think I could spin. Whoa! Ah! Ta-da! That's Yep. Lord, getting close takes your breath away. No, I don't want to. Listen, you need that to breathe. You need that to breathe. You'll have to wear scuba gear. Then, if it's that bad, I'm sorry. I didn't know that I took the oxygen out of the room. I didn't know I was a vacuum. Is my soul that empty? Oxygen's not poison. Not this again. Well, I guess Vixen isn't here, so I can say that I agree. Oh. I have like a blue raspberry like energy drink thing that I really want right now. I might go get that. You know? I might end stream here and I might go get that. You guys have had enough of Sokar, right? I think you have. Wouldn't you agree? Oh no! Hold on, wait, I swear. Oh! I do have legs. I do have legs. See? I do. I don't know how I cut myself in half by accident, you know, it just happened. I know exactly what I did actually. I accidentally resized the window and then it was like, oh, okay. So you're like that. My streams make your day better. Yeah, oh good. That makes me feel better. I'm driven by ego in everything that I do, not because I'm a horrible person, but because there's another side to me that no one really sees, and it sucks. So having constant attention and praise and having validation, that makes me feel pretty good. It helps me deal with that other thing. Thank you. I preach. Okay, I'm gonna snooze that. Snooze the ads. Snooze them. It's been 3 hours. So, I must go. I will be off. I will be back tomorrow, though, at 4:00 p.m. Central Time, US. Gonna play the Sky, because it's Skyder Day. The Sky Saturday. But happy Femboy Friday. You must appreciate your local femboy. Here at the Sanctuary, we protect the femboys, okay? Femboy Friday, yeah, exactly. We protect, we honor their sacrifice, their national treasure. I don't think there's any in chat. Yeah, Lyra is. Lyra, you are honorary femboy this Friday. Everyone. Wow. Woohoo. Lyra is a wonderful, wonderful person. So nice. So good to get to know. You should go follow them. Go to Lyrical Liven's channel on Twitch. Do it now. Follow. Not even live. You don't have to be for me to appreciate. But know that you are representing me and your Emberlings and the Sanctuary in your presence over there, okay? So be on good behavior. Be on very good behavior and be nice to him. Okay? All right. It is time for me to go. Be good to yourselves and be good to each other. Remember that you deserve to be loved and you deserve to be happy. I say this at the end of every stream. Not just because it's like a message I want to put out there for you, but also because it is a message that I say out loud as a sort of positive affirmation to myself. So, I will see you all again tomorrow, but until such time, bye. Bye-bye.